Hey, friends! Welcome to the Swing My Heart podcast. Come join me, your host, Nicole, for some hope filled conversations about heartfelt entertainment that makes your heart swing. Hey, Hearties! Welcome to the Swing My Heart podcast. I'm your host, Nicole, joined by my friend and wonderful co host, Brennan, and we are joined by our wonderful friend Kloey, the Passionate Hearty on Instagram, to talk about When Calls the Heart, Season 13, Episode 5, Growing Pains. Welcome to the podcast, Kloey.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, we are both so excited to have you. This will be
I'm so excited to be here.
Yes. So, since you are a first-time guest on the show, I know I'm springing this on you. I forgot to bring it up before we hit record, but when did you start watching the show? So, when did you first become a Hardy?
Well, okay, it's like a long story, sort of. I'll cut it down though.
Yeah.
But I started watching when I was 10 years old, around I guess that was seasons 4 and 5 is when I started. I never watched it live though, but that's when I started watching little episodes here and there. And then, when I was about 12, 13, I started watching it again when season 6 was coming out. And then from there, started shipping Nathan and Elizabeth, and now we're here now. So, yeah.
Yes. Jumping to season 13, episode 5, which is the reason why we are here. What are your first impressions on this episode, Brennan and Kloey?
Kloey, you go first.
First impression, I really came out of it. I don't know. I think I really came out of it feeling more grateful for like my parents in a way, only because this episode really just showed me how hard it is for my parents watching me grow up, you know? The whole entire episode, I was like, I'm literally Allie. I've been in her position. Teenagers do get defensive in situations like that, and I totally understood that. And I was like, oh, this is definitely something that I was able to talk to my parents afterwards and like reflect on it a bit. And I reflected that through an Instagram post the other day, and I was like, my mom said parenting isn't easy. No one ever said parenting wasn't easy. So seeing my parents watch it with me, they were like, yeah, that's been us. We've been in the same position, but we do love watching our kids grow up, and any decision we make for them is ultimately for them to be happy and for their happiness. So kids, trust your parents and everything they plan out for you, because in the end they're probably right, even though you probably did not like the decisions they made.
Mm-hmm. Brennan?
Oh, Kloey, I love that. I This episode was so emotional, and it was one of those episodes where I finished watching it and I kind of was like, "Oh wow," because you so many of these conversations just really took you in, like you were there with these characters in person. So I had that feeling, like I feel like I was in the room with everybody, and everything was just kind of tense and emotional, but in a good way. So at the end, it was just this, oh my goodness, I feel like I was part of all those deep conversations and not just watching on my screen.
Yeah, for sure. I really enjoyed this episode. I think it was very well written. I think, as you and I have stated before, Brennan, all the storylines flowed really nicely together, very cohesive.
Yeah.
And what is your emotional takeaway for the episode? So, one word to describe it.
This would be two words. Growing up, like coming of age, growing up.
Yes, coming of age. That's a good one. And growing pains.
Yes, growing pains.
Yes,
The episode
absolutely
title.
both go together.
Yes.
The title is perfect.
Yes. What was the heartbeat of this episode for both of you? So something that reminds you why you love this show.
I think the family aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's really the whole reason why I think I started watching was for just to get that sense of like comfort and family feeling. Because you don't find shows like this anymore, and it's truly something. It's something special when you find a show like this and it's going for so long. But through the storylines that they're reflecting and stuff, like the storylines they're giving us, from what we saw from Nathan and Elizabeth and LJ and Allie's storylines this past weekend, I would say family definitely is what I reminded me of why I like this show so much. And just the comfort in knowing the family I have in this community too is
Mm.
also special.
Yeah.
Mm. Absolutely. I love that. I would say this episode really reminded me a lot of season one episodes and those early season episodes where we had so much of this, where we had characters
Yep.
just having these one-on-one conversations in the row houses, in quiet places. And season one, that's how I fell in love with the show. So this episode had a lot of early roots to
Mhm.
me. It felt like, yes, this is kind of what the show was based on, just these characters coming together and talking and solving problems together. And I just really appreciated that. It took me back to season one, early seasons.
Yeah, I agree. It definitely made me feel the way I guess I felt when I was younger watching this show. It
Mm.
kind of took me back in a way, but it's like I've also grown up watching these kids because they're my age too, in like real life. Me and Jada are the same age. So like seeing them grow up and knowing I'm also growing up in a way, I'm like, oh, it's just nostalgic is a good word for it, you know? It's like just there's a special little piece that the show has in my heart.
That really is special, Chloe, to
Yeah.
watch a lot of these characters on screen and like you're growing up together.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And for me, I would say, of course, the family aspect with Nathan, Allie, Elizabeth, Jack, but also the community. Like, I think one of my favorite scenes that stood out of why I love this show is the one when they're all working together to plant the trees
Yeah.
for the
Yeah,
future.
that's so special. I love that they're doing this project.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the community aspect of it too. I like that they're all coming together in such a time that's just hard for them, but they're still seeing the good in it, regardless of the circumstances they're in right now.
Definitely.
So, going to Hope Valley happenings, how did the town function in this episode? I'd say working together to plant the trees for the future. What about
Mhm.
y'all?
I would also say the same thing. A lot of community was built around this episode. A lot of growing pains with specific families, and we saw that. A lot of it, I think, was showing us a lot of growth and how far you can come just within a few weeks of such tragedy that happens in your town. So a lot of community coming together, a lot of heartfelt conversations too. So yeah, I would say a lot of community helping in a way is the way it flowed.
I completely agree with that. A lot of family time, obviously, but family spending a lot of time together. Nathan and Elizabeth just talking about their kids. And we got to see Lee and Rosemary with Gwen again, which we love. We got a lot of Christopher and Henry. I love the two of them together, and their relationship is so much stronger now that Christopher's back in town. So I really appreciated a lot all those family scenes.
Yeah, me too. I would also say Nathan, Bill, and Oliver working on the case, the investigation a little
Yes,
bit.
of course.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And that scene when they're all at the burn site and Oliver steps in the ash pit and Nathan's like, "Don't step in the ash pit." Sorry, I was just too excited over dinosaur fossils.
Yeah, Oliver was a little distracted and Nathan was
Not the happiest. He wasn't the happiest.
Nathan was a little irritated about it.
Just a little, you know,
Yeah.
just a tiny bit, just distracted and mad.
We'll talk more about that later, but also, just really briefly, can we talk about how excited Bill was to search for dinosaur fossils?
I loved that.
That was so cute.
Come
That
on, let's
he
go.
comes in with his little like shovel. I don't even know what that's called. His little like
Really, yeah. He had something. Don't know what it was, but he was so excited. He walked out the door and was like, "Let's go!"
So cute. I'm like, Bill is more excited than
The
Allie.
kids are.
Go.
He was so excited and like him just shouting like, "Come on, let's go!" When they're inside, and Allie's like, "Why did you invite Bill?" I would have been so excited personally to go fossil hunting with Bill.
Yeah.
How fun would that be? Yes, please.
Yes. I should add that as a hashtag in the post for this episode. Hashtag fossil hunting with Bill.
Yes,
Yes.
of course. Like you know how Henry he helped the kids, was that season 10 when Henry helped the kids plant their plants or whatever they were planting?
Yes.
I
That
I
was
think so.
Yeah, now this could be
Yeah,
like
that's
Bill's thing.
it.
Like, ooh, now Bill's gonna like take the kids on fossil hunts.
That would be fun. And then they could like go back down to the stream and like look in that area too, you know?
Hmm?
Yeah, go hunting for fossils.
Yeah.
That sounds like a blast.
Yes. That was one of my favorite moments in season 10. Henry planting the pumpkin seeds with the
Pumpkin seeds, thank you. Yeah, that was so sweet. I love that storyline.
Kim and Sarah. That was precious.
So cute.
It was really cute.
Terrible.
I love seeing Henry work with the kids. I feel like there's so many new sides of him that we're seeing. Like aside from like the big mean guy, he was, but like we're seeing a lot of different sides of Henry and I really like it.
I do too. It's so great.
Who would you say stepped up for the community or showed leadership or compassion in this episode?
I would say Toby and
That's what I
Cooper.
thought too.
Because one, they were doing something out of the goodness of their hearts. They weren't doing it for attention. They weren't doing it to be like, hey, we want you guys to like us again. They were doing this because they knew something bad happened and they were trying to make what was something not so good of an outcome become better and try making something better. And the end of the episode, it brought the community together. So clearly they were doing something right, but like they were planting those trees for, I don't know, however long they said they were doing it. So definitely them two because they were showing their leadership, but in a quiet way, which that's okay. Everyone shows leaderships in different ways. And they were super compassionate about what they were doing, and they were just trying to make the best of something that wasn't good in the moment.
Yeah,
Mm,
agreed.
yeah,
100%. I
yeah.
would also count what Cooper and Toby did as an act of kindness or community spirit this week.
Yes, I agree. Definitely community spirit right there.
For sure.
Even though they were not the happiest with what was happening, but we still don't know who even did the fire, but they're stepping up and they're willing to take the blame for something tragic that did happen.
I completely agree with that. I love that. And I admire how the writers are writing them. And I think it shows really their maturity because even them feeling still so guilty and bad about what happened, they're still coming up with this plan of, well, what can we do to make things better rather than continue to wallow or, feel bad or feel sorry for themselves. They're turning it into something positive. That's not always easy to do. That's not always easy for me to do.
Mm.
So I really appreciated that. And I think Lee stepped up too in this episode. At least he tried to in the beginning when he's doing his proposal and he's presenting, and you realize how much he's doing and how much he's taking on.
Yeah.
But he's trying to do something else good.
I just thought about it, but also Lucas helping Edie move her furniture. That's an act of kindness too.
It totally is.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
Yes, and we'll talk about that scene shortly because that was a great moment.
Yes.
So, Hearts of the Valley, what would you say are 2 to 3 main choices made in this episode? Cooper and Toby planting the trees.
I would say, like you said, Toby and Cooper. I'm trying to think of another one. Choices made. I would say the choices that Elizabeth and Nathan made for their kids and to help them grow and be happy. Um, and like Elizabeth said, they're doing all right now. So just, I mean, parenting is easy. So definitely the choices they're making. And then I would say for the last one, Probably Lee and Rosemary with Gwen, only because right now they're doing their best to raise this child that they don't really even know. They don't really know much of her background or anything. They're just trying to help raise her while she's in the middle of something that's hard. She's like in a position that's not easy for any kid. So Lee and Rosemary, even this whole season, they've been doing a great job with Gwen, even when it gets hard. So both of them, I would say, have been making some good choices with her.
Yeah. So, in your opinion, what did each character who made a big choice in this episode risk? Or what was at stake emotionally or morally?
Well, I think Nathan,
Yes.
he, what do you guys think? Maybe this isn't really a risk. I think at first he's risking, I think, possibly losing Allie, or at least that's a fear of his. Like, if I let her hang out with this boy, this young man, am I going to lose her? I might lose her. And I think Nathan, I mean, he obviously just has experienced so much loss. Even at the beginning of the season, he was worried about losing Elizabeth.
Mhm.
Obviously, we know that's not going to happen. But now he's facing this whole new era with Allie. So I think even as a dad, he's kind of going through his risks of like, what am I risking if I let her, start spending time with a guy?
Yeah, I agree with that. From a daughter's perspective, I understand his concern. I understand his opinions. I've been like Allie, like, what the heck? Why are you not letting me do certain things, you know? There are questions as teenagers, you know? We're like, why aren't you letting me make my own decision? Especially when you turn an age that she is right now. You think you have free will when you really don't, you know? So I understand why he's upset in some aspects. And I think for any parents seeing their children grow up and knowing that they're like gonna be free and like they can go and everything. I think that's just scary for them. It's scary for any parent. I mean, it's scary for us teenagers too. But I think my dad probably felt in that moment too that he's like, oh, I have to let my little kids go. You know, I have to let my little girls go. Like, I have to let my daughter be on her own. She has to, like, this is the only way she's gonna learn is to let us go, you know? And sometimes letting us go will lead to some heartbreak, maybe, or maybe something better. But him struggling to let her go is, I think, the part the most of the whole episode that was showing through his like facial emotions the whole entire episode. Because even like when he was like smiling and happy stuff, you could like see in his eyes he's worried about his daughter. And it's not that he doesn't know Oliver either. He just sees a different side of Oliver day to day that she doesn't see. And that's another thing that he's trying to be protective over. And he knows the life of a Mountie. And yes, her father is a Mountie, but she doesn't truly see what they go through from day to day. So him letting her go and be with Oliver, he sees the risk that are at stake and what could potentially end up being bad in the end.
Yes.
Yes. I love how you brought up his facial expressions, Chloe, because Kevin just says everything with his face.
He does.
He
He does.
does. And even that scene when Allie and Oliver are on the bench and Nathan is writing up,
That
I
was
actually just paused on his face when he's on Newton. And because at first you're thinking, oh, he's pissed. But then I paused it, and the more I was looking at it, I realized, but that also in his eyes, like I saw more like pain, like more kind of fear, like not just anger.
yeah.
Yeah,
You
well, Nathan's been her rock for so long. That's like
Mhm.
that's been her man for years, you know, like her father has been her person. So I think him seeing that, oh, there's someone else more important than me now. Like his face just went like he was just it's like his life flashed before his eyes. Like have you ever heard that saying where it's like parents see like a reel of their children going through like during major events, you know? I'm like, he probably saw his little girl rolling through his head right there, you know? Like he's just struggling with it. And you could really see through the whole episode, like even in his eyes, you could just see the pain. And Allie was like, it's okay, Dad, it's fine. Like you can let me go. And he's like, yes, I can let you go, like physically, but mentally and emotionally, he's not ready.
Might take a minute. Yeah,
Hmm.
totally.
I'd also say for another major choice in this episode, and maybe what this character risked, Henry finding the evidence and then holding on to it. I think he risks,
Yeah.
his son
Mhm.
not being happy with him in some way.
Hmm.
Yes, Nicole. That's a great one. Completely.
Maybe shutting him out in some form or fashion.
Yeah, that goes back to the growing pains. That goes right back to it because, I mean, he's an adult. He knows the decisions he can make.
Mhm.
Um, Parenting adults, I know, is not easy. My parents are going through it right now. So I know that Henry is either like, I can let him make the decision, let him decide, or I can tell someone and he can get mad at me. But like I said earlier, all the decisions our parents make are because they have their best interests at heart for us. It's they want what's best for us. So like anything that Henry does is truly for Christopher's like well-being. It's so Christopher can be happy. It's so he can go see his was he already married to her? That's the real
I don't
question.
know.
See, I remember.
I want to say he's already married to her, but like, well,
Yes.
I don't know. So he can go see Rachel, I guess.
Yeah,
There,
exactly.
I'll
At
say
least they're
that.
still together.
I'll just go say that because that storyline's a little confusing to me.
It's a little fuzzy, but at least they're still together.
Yeah. So, sorry, I had to pause right there for a minute. I was like, are they married or not?
No, true girl. It's been a question for all of us.
I know it has been. It's been a question for since we saw the first episode.
Yeah, exactly.
We're all like, what? We all show each other looks like, what?
Like, did you get engaged and then call it off and now
But
you're
he had a
engaged again?
child already too.
I think it's confusing because there was a deleted scene that never made it. Maybe that's what everyone's thinking
Oh,
Hmm.
from
okay.
last season. I think Henry was talking to maybe Bill in the barn.
Hmm.
Maybe when they were looking for Pow. I think that was the episode it was from.
Oh, okay.
Oh, the episode 11 then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, there were a few things in that episode that was left out.
Yeah.
Maybe didn't.
Man, they should have showed that scene. At
Yeah.
least the Bill finding pal part, anyway.
They should have. I watched that scene and I was like, oh my goodness, that would have been like such an important moment to put in that episode.
Mhm. Yeah.
Completely.
I think Henry did the right thing, holding on to the evidence.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna go to anyone yet because in the promo, it shows him talking to Christopher, and he's asking him like, "What is this?" So I think he's gonna let him figure it out on his own and turn himself in, maybe, or talk to Nathan on them at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
the charges on Toby and Cooper could get dropped at least.
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
true.
Oh,
That'd be
We'll
nice.
talk about predictions later, but I don't think Christopher did it.
mm-mm.
I don't either. At
Responsible for it.
least I don't want that. Like,
No.
no, don't put him on Christopher. We just got him back.
Yeah, literally. Don't put it on him. We need
Come
more
on.
reviews.
Yeah. What the choices reveal about growth or fear. I think for Nathan, it revealed how much he's grown and how much he trusts Allie, at least in the end of the episode.
I agree. And I did like how he ultimately chose to tell Elizabeth about it. Yeah. And that shows how much they continue to grow closer together.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I also agree with that. I think that they're all growing closer together as a family, which is really shining through this season. But I like the fact that Nathan could go to her and be like, I said something wrong. I lashed out. I don't like the way I spoke to her. And Allie, I'm shocked they didn't put Allie going to Elizabeth in there. I wish they did, but
Yeah.
yeah, but Elizabeth being like, hey, it's okay. We all make mistakes, we're not perfect. So, and they're learning. And Nathan's growing as a parent every single day while raising Allie, and Elizabeth's also growing. And they're all growing, like especially the kids. But Nathan and Elizabeth as parents are definitely growing more each
Mhm.
episode, especially throughout the seasons. They're growing more as parents.
Yeah. in the
Yes.
family, like you said. And I know there's some mixed emotions about where they are in their relationship and, the writing, but I think the writers are purposefully showing them feeling disjointed
Mhm.
for a reason.
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
would agree with that, Nicole. I thought of that after this episode too, and I thought, okay, them showing kind of still their separate lives, I think was very intentional because I think it was that way to show, like, look, this family, they do need to be
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
And I think also, real quick, the conversations between Nathan and Allie had to be between the two of them. It
Mhm.
wouldn't have been the same if it was with Nathan and Elizabeth or all four of them. I think those conversations had to be just Allie and Nathan in their house at their kitchen table.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the adult conversations they're having, or Nathan's like having a conversation as an adult, it's not teenager and adult anymore, he's having a big grown-up conversation. And then she goes, "What did anyone say about love? Who said anything about love?" Nathan's like, "Oh, okay, so you're not in love, I guess." I was like, "They're just friends. Don't worry."
Yeah.
He's Nathan's safe for a little bit. He's still safe for a little while longer, maybe.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
So, Hope Valley highlights. What are your top three scenes in this episode? And if you have a few honorable mentions, you can totally add those in too.
I got a whole page.
You started off, Brennan.
Oh man. Well, Allie and Oliver on the bench,
I wrote that down.
absolutely adorable.
Yeah.
And all of Allie and Nathan's scenes.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Okay, I have a full page. This is honestly a mix of top three and honorable. Let's see. Allie and Elizabeth on the porch. Nathan and Elizabeth at the end of the episode. They had tea. I'm calling that the hot cider scene to keep with the apple juice theme. Henry and Christopher, I just love them together. Lee's panic attack. I loved how that whole scene was filmed and how just his face was shot. The planting scene at the end. And then Lee and Rosemary and Gwen at the house when Lee comes home and says he's all excited. He says, "I'm gonna rebuild your town." And she shows them the picture of her house. Oh, and the pivot scene, of course.
I need to watch Friends. Y'all were all putting your pivot post out there, and I'm like, I don't understand this. I'll get into
It,
that.
no worries, Chloe.
I was like, I'll get there eventually. It's
You
okay.
will. You
I
will.
still like the scene though, I still enjoyed it. Aside not knowing the theme of it, I still enjoyed it enough.
That's good.
The swing, for sure. I will start there with the swing and Nathan and them. I don't feel like very many people probably would like this scene, but Nathan talking to Oliver. Um,
Oh, yes, of course, Chloe.
That'll be an honorable mention, I guess, too.
Yeah.
But Nathan and Oliver, if you get the subtext in there, great. So they weren't just arguing, like it was a fun conversation, and we all know what that conversation's about.
Yeah.
Him hanging out with Allie and stuff, and he's like, I need to be able to trust you. And I will say, man came out there straight, and then Oliver took it, and he was like, okay, sounds good. He was like, I got it. And I was like, okay, man, get it. It's like, get it, Oliver. Oliver walked out with more Riz, guys.
Yeah.
He did. And
Oh,
then he invited Bill.
yes. And right there, him showing, I just want to play it safe. There's still ash pits. We all know why you invited Bill, guys.
Yes.
We all know why you invited
There's
Bill.
no way I can get in trouble if Bill's here.
Exactly, exactly. He brought a chaperone, guys. So bonus points for Oliver, guys.
Very respectful.
Yes. He wasn't gonna leave him and Allie alone in the woods. Well, the burned down woods at least, with a bunch of ash pits. So he brought Bill. I bet that was a fun adventure.
Yep.
Third, I would say the talk that Nathan had with Allie. I'll say eggs at the table, breakfast scene. Um, the talk he had with Allie, and how good it was. I think that the conversation was just really good. It was two adults talking. It wasn't, oh, you're just so young and I don't want you doing this and that and stuff. And it's him talking to her as she's an adult and he knows she's growing up. So he's like, I need to talk to her like she is a grown up because if I don't treat her like one, she's gonna get more mad. So definitely that. Honorable mention, I would say the panic attack. I really, really liked the way they did that. It was really good. Just from the way it started in the office to the way it was built up and taken into the infirmary. But the whole episode, it was really getting like it was building up, as the whole episode was progressing. And you could kind of see in his face a little bit that he was just not there. So he was just like not feeling it. He's like, yeah, I didn't sleep very well. I'm like, well, we know you're gonna have a panic attack later this episode. But even like the editing of it, like the blur and fuzziness of it and stuff, like just the cinematography of it was done so well. And I was like, I guess we've seen like close up eye, like medium shots of the faces and stuff, but I don't think anything like that to where he was like puffing and stuff and he was actually terrified for his life. So I was like, oh, the way that was done, the way Rosemary brought him in and was there, and then I would say Faith as well, the way she handled it, and she was like, you and told him to his face that you need to slow down a bit. I was like, tell him. Sometimes people need to hear it. So she was like, you're working too hardly. You need to slow down. And by him slowing down, he's taking time for his family, which is even better. So him taking time for his family, and he was like, oh, this is what's important to me, my family. So, and then including Gwen in that too was just so sweet. So I think those were top moments. Lucas and Edie too. If you get the subtext, great, because the movie The Furniture was that goes in my top 10 scenes now. That was great. I
Oh,
loved the whole scene. I was like, the way that I knew something was bad was gonna happen with the furniture the moment they started going up the stairs. I was like, she's gonna drop it, he's gonna fall. And then bam, he's right under the table. And
yeah,
like the way she just effortlessly just like starts touching his face and everything. She
yeah.
was like, oh, I don't care. Like, I just hurt him. And she didn't think a thing about it. So I was like, okay, get it, girl, get it. And
Her
I was like,
hands were like all over him. She's like touching his
everywhere.
chest, his face. I'm like, okay, Edie, your true feelings are coming out right now.
She is not hesitating at all.
No.
She is not hesitating. She is going right in there. There ain't no
Like
slow
he's
burn
hurt.
left.
Good moment. This is a physical touch moment.
There's one more honorable mention. Sorry, there's just so many good scenes. Elizabeth and LJ, and him going, but I don't want to be called Little Jack. Um, that was super sweet. And then when he stood up and just like ran off, I was like, oh, that was so sweet. And Elizabeth's like, I don't like this anymore, you know? But it was so sweet. And then if you watch the Edify after show, I watched Highland on it during
That
his
was great.
interview. And I started laughing because Hyland said, I don't understand why they call him LJ though, because the L still stands for little. I was like, that is a very valid point. That is very valid. And he went, I don't know why they just can't call him Little Jack. And I'm like, right on, little dude, right on. Like,
He's smart. He's a smart one. He's
he
figured that
is
out.
a smart kid, and kids his age are just so honest about everything. So I think that's just what made it more funny. He was like, I don't understand. I was like, we've all been calling him LJ for a while, I think. So,
That's that's true. Now it's just
okay.
official. But
Okay.
good point, Highland.
Good job, Highland.
So for me, Allie and Oliver's porch swing talk, and what I loved about that scene is, she's talking about the dinosaur fossil and, they're just sharing their experiences of moving around a lot and home. So I thought that was really sweet. Nathan and Elizabeth's apple juice talk 3.0. Not technically apple juice, hot cider.
Well, I'll count it.
Yes. One thing I really loved about that scene was the way it was shot, especially at the beginning with, Nathan walking back and forth, pacing. and then Elizabeth opening the window. That shot of her opening the window was fantastic.
Oh, I loved it. It was giving Sound of Music, just me.
Yeah.
I thought Sound of Music when he about like started throwing the rocks. I was like, waiting for him to start throwing the rocks, guys. Just waiting.
Yes.
That was so good.
Conversation with them, and I love how she says at the end, between the two of us, I think we're doing all right. I think it's
Yes.
something is along the lines of what she said.
Mhm.
And then the breakfast scene talk and the cultures and Gwen when she shows her drawing. And Gwen is a fantastic drawer. She should be an artist.
Yeah, she should. Oh my goodness.
She's good. She's got it down.
Yes,
Mhm.
maybe an architect.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I could see her doing that because she's kind of like a tomboy. Oh,
Yeah.
that's right, Molly.
Yes.
I can see
Yes.
that too.
Can
Yeah,
Alex stay on the show so she could become town architect?
that would
She
be
could
cool.
rebuild her whole town.
Yes. She can help Lee. Hmm.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yep. She can help Lee with the construction business, and then Allie can take over for Lee at the Valley Voice
Perfect.
as the
That's
reporter.
awesome. I love it. That's perfect, actually. I love that idea.
I
Yes.
can definitely see that.
I see that happening.
And speaking of Lee's many jobs, not a favorite scene, but Julie mentioned this on the Thursday threads last night. Can we just take a moment to appreciate Maisie calling out Lee for all of his jobs?
I forgot how many jobs he had when she was listing them out. I realized, oh yeah, I forgot about half of these.
He basically runs the whole town at this point.
I didn't realize he was still working on the paper with Rosemary. I'm like, I thought that was done
Yeah,
in season 9. Where have I
I
been?
thought that was fun too. I didn't know he was still doing that. And
Either.
okay, the lumber company, I guess that's just kind of been gone for a while from the stories. But I was like, I almost kind of forgot about the lumber company until he started bringing it back up for the season. I was like, oh, right. But I mean, he has a lot of jobs. Also, Mike has had a lot of jobs too. So
I know.
can't forget that either.
Exactly. It's like next we need Maisie to list out all of her brother's jobs.
Mike's literally had every job in the town possible, except for the dress shop, I believe.
In the Mountie.
Like,
In the
Mike
and
should
now
work. He should work in the pharmacy. He could like scoop the ice cream.
Yeah.
oh, so fun.
Yeah.
I, yeah, I think he would eat that up. Also, Ben Rosenbaum, he's really nice, guys. He's just such a nice guy. I'm just gonna
So,
say that right now. Just shout out to him. He's really nice.
so nice.
The Lucas and Edie furniture moving scene and Florence and Molly with their side conversation. You think they're official? No, I think they just are continuing to dance around their feelings, talking about work.
Guys, they weren't talking about work.
No, no, they were not.
Or Molly, did you listen to the subtext?
Yes. And question, I'm so curious what is in that envelope that Florence gave to Molly. What about y'all?
They kind of just brushed it aside, though. I don't know. I feel like it could be something for her to like help in the infirmary more or the
Yeah.
doctor's office more, probably. I could see that.
Mhm.
I don't know what else it would be, unless it's Jed giving her something that
Oh,
I wouldn't
Lord.
know about. Um,
It
I would
better not be Jed proposing. First of all, who proposes in a letter? And second of all, no, 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 no.
no, if it's Jed proposing, I will. No, no, absolutely
Right
not.
at dawn.
I
Yeah.
will write it down with you guys. Absolutely not. No.
I
Who
don't see
proposes
that
that
happening.
in a letter?
This is
Well, didn't Fiona's guy propose in a letter though?
He did.
bad.
Tacky.
Lame. That's what
Yeah.
it is. Really, really lame.
Yeah, I agree.
At least she
Um,
broke it off with him.
That's true. See, that is true.
she did, and that's good. I'm glad she did though.
Me too.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't think
I don't
it's
think Jed would propose though.
no.
If
No.
that's the engagement this season, I'm gonna be so mad.
I don't think it is.
I am gonna be so mad.
I will be so mad. So mad. No, I don't think it's that. I mean, but we can't forget Florence and Ned's was like a major plot twist. So
Major plot twist. It was really sweet, but
sweet, but I was like, what's happening here? Like they really said spur of the moment. So yeah.
I think it's going to be like that for Nathan and Elizabeth. They're going to pull Flo-Yo or an Eminem, Mike and May.
I hope so. Like, this is the couple we want to get engaged and married in the same season.
Yes. Yes, please.
Yeah.
It
We
has
waited
to
long
be.
enough.
Yes, for sure. So, what is the small moment in this episode that spoke the loudest or had the biggest impact?
Trying to think, small moment.
Ooh, a small moment. This didn't really make a big impact, but I really loved it. When Nathan comes to Elizabeth's house and they're talking about dinner, obviously he's upset about just seeing Allie and Oliver, and then he's on his way out. When Elizabeth says, I love you. Oh,
Oh, I love that scene.
that was so sweet. And I always love when we get to see her say it because she has said it to him before, but I kind of feel like Nathan has said it more to her. So I love when we get to hear her say it first.
Yeah,
That was so sweet.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll agree with you on that one. I think that, yeah, I love that moment. It's so small, simple, sweet. Who like eats spaghetti instead of brisket? That's my real question. I guess that's my small moment that made an impact. Who turns down brisket?
Good
Nathan.
point. Nathan,
Nathan turned down brisket over spaghetti.
Oh my
I
goodness.
was
one more thing we learned about him.
sad day, I guess. I guess I'll just go over there with Elizabeth and little Jack and eat the brisket with them, you know? So I was
Exactly.
like, it turns out brisket. But
Yeah.
I love it. It was super sweet. I loved it. It was just cute. And he was kind of sad. And then her frown after he walked away, she was like, yeah, she knows he's sad.
Yes.
So yeah,
And
I'll be running on that one.
I'll go back to my thoughts on that moment in a second, but going down a rabbit hole for just a moment. I pulled a Nathan on my junior year of high school winterim trip. So winterim is like an out of the classroom learning kind of trip. And my group went to New York City and we saw Broadway plays. We did some sightseeing, with Top of the Rock, which is Rockefeller Center and stuff. And there was one night, I think it was the night we saw American Idiot on Broadway. We went to dinner at this Italian restaurant, and I chose not to have authentic New York pizza. I ate spaghetti.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, it's okay, Nicole. Sometimes we just go with what we know, right? Especially in a new
Yes.
place.
If you go back to New York, try the pizza though.
Yep. So the pizza would be the brisket in this case.
Exactly.
That's awesome. That's a great connection, Nicole.
Thanks.
I love that connection.
I do too. Oh my goodness.
That is awesome.
It's okay. But honestly, you can never go wrong with spaghetti. So
So,
it was still a fine choice.
yeah.
Yeah, it was. I just heard brisket and I went, oh, that sounds so good.
Yep.
That did sound really good. I'm like, oh, okay.
I was like, okay, she's getting fancy.
Everyone's gonna be
I'm
making
making,
brisket this week.
I know. I was like, okay, go make some brisket or something. Nathan made spaghetti. I was like, okay. I
I think
think he
that
kind of made me a little disappointed in the moment.
when we see Nathan at his table, first of all, that shirt, I love that blue shirt. But he's like, he has that stern look and he's stirring the sauce. Like,
Hmm.
I'm like, oh, you stir that sauce.
Stir the pot, man. Just stir a little
Stir the
more.
pot, Nathan. Stir the pot.
He's about to stir it with Allie, okay?
Yep. So, anyway, back to my thoughts. I think this moment spoke the loudest in the sense that, like we were talking about earlier, it shows how off balance they are not being under one roof and how ready they are to be under one roof.
Exactly. I completely agree. We believe this is all very intentional.
Hmm.
With change coming soon.
Hopefully change happens very soon.
Yeah. I think the big turn that Brian Bird mentioned is about to happen, like within the next few weeks.
I hope it's about to happen. BB, Don't let us down.
We'll see. Maybe.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah. Quote of the episode.
The quote Elizabeth said to Nathan, I'd say we're doing all right, yeah, I would say that one. Definitely. Something along the lines of that. I feel like I should know it since I just put it in a in an edit. I feel like I should know this, but I would definitely say that quote. In a way, it kind of put him at ease too. Like he just looked at her and he's like, "Oh yeah, I know everything's gonna be okay."
Yeah.
So I say between the two of us, we're doing all right. So, and that they are. I mean, he still has more challenges coming at him probably with Allie, and Elizabeth probably has more challenges with LJ coming her way. But yeah, I think they both felt a little bit at peace after that. So I'd say that quote.
That was so good. I also really liked, and of course, I didn't write it down, so I apologize, but what Elizabeth said to Allie when they were on the porch, and then what Nathan said to Allie, their second breakfast scene. Did they have two breakfast scenes or
I
one?
think dinner and then one was breakfast.
Yes. Thank you. What he said to her at breakfast. Because they both really affirmed her on their own. And I loved that.
Yeah, me too. I also wrote down what Joseph told Cooper when they were planting the trees. Sometimes good ripples out and touches everyone.
Yes.
Well, that was so good.
Yeah. So Easter eggs or callbacks. I'd say the only one I really call not a callback or Easter egg to this show, but the Friends reference with the Lucas and Edie scene, the pivot scene.
Yes. Classic callback. I love that they did
After
that.
everyone else.
Yeah. Pivot, pivot.
I understood it once the post started coming out.
Mhm.
That's when I picked it up.
Yes,
So good.
that
Oh,
meme of pivot goes around every hurricane season in the South.
does it really?
Like when a hurricane is headed a
Oh,
certain
like it
place,
really changes direction. Oh my
everyone will be
goodness.
like, pivot!
I am now understanding this, and I literally live in the South.
That's funny. Oh
I
my,
don't watch Friends. That's probably why I just picked that up.
Every hurricane season, there's a meme with pivot.
that's
I'm gonna post that next hurricane season because I understand it now. Oh,
amazing.
I love that. I don't know how I never picked that up.
I love that. That's perfect for a hurricane. Like, yes, pivot, go the other way.
Move.
Wants you.
Mm-mm. Not here, at least.
Mm-mm. Not for my friends. Stay away.
Mm-mm.
Faith and frontier. What would you say is the central theme of this episode or themes?
Central themes, family, community, and then I want to say like friends
Yeah.
because of Oliver and Oliver. I just said Oliver, Ollie and Allie.
Oh,
Yeah. Sorry, I just said Oliver. I just realized I just started saying that. I'm like, yeah, that's just what I say now. It's like y'all know what I'm talking about.
it's so cute. I love Oliver.
I
It's
love it.
yeah, it rolls off the tongue nicely. Yeah.
You know, yeah, it works out well. Yeah. I don't know what another theme is, but I would say those three for sure is what I got.
For me, I'd say letting go, which that's shown through Nathan and Allie's story, and then the scene with Elizabeth and Jack. You know, Nathan seeing Allie grow up, Elizabeth seeing Jack grow up and want to be called LJ. Community regeneration, that's with, the planting of the trees that will affect the future of the town. And then confronting responsibility, and that is shown with Lee and his panic attack and slowing down.
Yeah. I agree with both of you. Mine were working and coming together with both family and community and growing and moving forward together.
What would you say is the life lesson or message you took away from this episode?
Trust your parents, kids.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to your parents. Yeah, I'll give it that one. Even though sometimes I don't like listening to my parents, and what their opinions are. listen to them, trust them because they know what's best for you.
Mhm.
I guess that was the life lesson, and I'm learning that every day. So yeah, I'm still learning it. So I would say, trust your parents. So
Mhm.
I love that. And I like how you brought up listening, Kloey, because I just realized I think that's it for me, the message just of listening to each other. We saw a lot of that, even just Nathan choosing to hear Allie out and even her listening to him. Just a lot of listening between these characters and these two-on-one conversations. And even you mentioned before, Kloey, which I totally agree with, when Lee really listened to Faith and decided, okay, yes, I am going to slow down. I'm going to take care of myself and my family. So just a reminder of just how important it is to listen to each other and hear each other out, even if you may not agree. I think just the act of sitting together and really listening, I think can just be really healing and helpful.
I feel like there's just so much like division in our world too, especially between kids and their parents and like kids and their friends, you know? But like what we never do is we don't just sit there and listen. We tend
Mm,
to get defensive, like everyone gets this way, I guess. But we just get so defensive in the situation that we don't even take the time to hear people's perspectives. We don't even try to understand their side of the story or what they're getting out of whatever
mm,
the argument is or whatever the talk is. But we just don't slow down enough to where we're like, oh, I'll actually listen to you. I'll take into consideration what you're saying and I'll actually process it instead of just like canceling the noise out of my ears, you know?
mm.
Because people, like most kids, are like, I don't want to hear what they're saying, so I'm just going to ignore them, you know? But by listening, it actually can do you a lot of good in the end.
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely.
So I would say the life lesson or message that I took away, the necessity of letting go. Again, that's with Allie and LJ. I seriously just want to call him Jack.
I know. Like when Elizabeth was like, LJ, LJ, LJ.
I was like, Jack, Jack.
Action over guilt. That's with Toby and Cooper planting trees instead of being paralyzed by that, fear or shame that they had over the cooking fire. Investing in the future. That's the tree planting. Once again, Elizabeth's project based learning. Highlighting that legacy is about what you leave behind, not just what you keep. And then listening to your limits regarding Lee specifically. And, Faith tells him you need to slow down, cut back a little bit.
Mhm. Yeah, I agree with all of those. So good.
So, Bible connection. Did either of you have any Bible verses that maybe fit the themes of this episode?
For me, I was gonna say Jeremiah 29:11 only because it's talking about the plans that we have for our future, you know?
Mm.
And it's not where it's like we can't always trust the Lord, you know, but like when we bring stuff to him, like he will help us through it, you know? It's not like, oh, I'm just gonna sit here and like not do it, but like the Lord's gonna help you through anything that you need. And then yes, you have your family and your parents beside you, you know? But that verse, like everyone pretty much knows it, you know, but that verse has always been part of my life and stuff. And especially growing up, I'm like, I know the Lord has a plan for my future. I sometimes don't know what that plan is or what He's trying to do with my life, especially in some circumstances. I'm like, things happen. I'm like, I don't know why He did that, but He did it for a reason. And it's for me and for my story personally.
Yeah.
Oh, Chloe, I love that. That's so encouraging. To be honest, I didn't make time to look up a verse for this episode, but just being reminded that, I mean, there's so many verses in scripture that just talk about how God created family and community and just how important it is to be in relationship with each other. And He's given us all a love language. And I'm not a parent yet, but I do believe that the Bible is, I mean, probably the best parenting book there is. I mean, there's so many verses that can be so encouraging to parents, especially in tough times when kids are growing up. And you know, you just
Yeah.
need some guidance.
Yeah. So I wrote down a few relating to a couple of different storylines. So the first one, train up a child in the way he should go, even when he is old, he will not depart from it. That's Proverbs chapter 22, verse 6, and that relates to Nathan's need to trust the values that he has instilled in Allie. And, with Elizabeth and Jack, pretty much the same thing. And, them just finding their own identities.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Build houses and live in them, plant gardens and eat their produce. That's Jeremiah 29, verse 5. And of course, that's relating to the tree planting and, putting down roots and investing in life despite the destruction that just occurred with the wildfire.
Mm.
I was also thinking towards like honoring your parents, honor your father and mother, you know. I think that's another one that you can relate to Allie and Nathan more so in this episode, only because teenagers are always like, I want to do what I want to do, you know? So I'm like, honoring your parents is another one, like doing what they said, because even if you don't, even what they're saying at the moment isn't what you want to hear, honoring them is gonna take you further with your relationship with your parents and the Lord as well.
Yeah.
Mm.
And then I wrote down one more, and that is, therefore, do not be anxious about tomorrow, for tomorrow will be anxious for itself. Sufficient for the day is its own trouble. And that is Matthew chapter 6, verse 34. And that relates to Lee and, a lesson for him to focus on the present moment rather than being overwhelmed by all his different jobs and, the future of his business.
I love that, especially because we saw so much anxiety in him this episode. Just going to that verse, like personally, I when I read that verse, I'm like, I just feel peace and comfort, you know? But that verse is definitely good to relate to Nathan because we even saw in his face, you know, he was feeling a little anxious. But I think you also can relate that to Lee as well in his panic attack because he was very anxious, you know? So like trusting in the Lord that knows what's happening in the future and don't worry about tomorrow, you know, because like it says, today has enough worries of its own. So definitely focus on the day ahead and don't think way too much in the future at all.
For sure.
Mhm.
So I think that's a wonderful way to wrap up this segment and go into our last segment and any predictions that we have.
I don't know if I can like relate this to school or anything, you know, but in my classes we've been told like don't drag storylines out, you know? So I'm like this one's been here for a while, but like it hasn't been like I don't know how y'all feel about it, but I kind of like the way it's been dragged out for all these years, you know, because they're growing as people and as a couple and their families are also growing, you know? So I feel like now is really the right time for this to happen, especially season 14. We've been renewed for that, so that's great. So with that, that means marriage storylines and I think some people producer sides maybe correct me if I'm wrong, producers and editors and directors out there. Um correct me if I'm wrong, but I think when we get into the marriage storylines, you get rich storylines right there. You get the good stuff. And that's what's going to keep us going, I think, these storylines, you know? Like sometimes people are like, "Oh, they get married, we're done, cut the show off." I'm like, "No, no, no, don't do that because we are just now starting to see him as a family. So by these rich storylines coming in, we get more depth, we get to see a whole new side of all of them. So write these storylines in, like give it to us, you know, and maybe add a baby in there too, you know, like grow the family. Like the more like you're giving us storylines, the more growth is going to happen with these characters. So that will give you more potential for more seasons probably, you know? So like give it to us. Like we actually want this. This is something the fans have been championing for. So this would be really good for us to get because we've seen her married for a short time. And yes, that probably was beneficial to her, but we need to see her married longer
Yeah.
and parenting with a spouse. We need to see her with Allie and Jack in one household. Like we need to see Nathan with Jack a little more, maybe, you know? Like give us those storylines, like rope them in there, you know? Like we know they can do it. They're doing it now. They're already on the right track. So just keep giving us more rich storylines, but give us more, you know?
Yes, completely, Chloe. I love that. I agree with you. And I love what you said about their relationship is it's not like it's been stagnant. Like
Mhm.
it's been, I totally agree with you. It's been moving. It's been growing. Yes, we've had a couple moments of like, will they, won't they, like seasons ago, but we're like things are moving. Like things are like it's not like things have halted. Like they're moving towards something.
Yes, and I think this is definitely beneficial to the producers and writers as well because after the season, this gives them more of a chance to give us something new that we've never seen, like ever before on this show. And who knows what that means? I don't know what that means, and I'm the one saying it, but stuff like this, when you get renewed for another season before your season even comes out, that is really big in and of itself already. So we know that we could get really rich storylines
Yeah.
from them. And we know that these writers can do it. We know what they're capable of. We're seeing it this season. We've seen it in past seasons. We absolutely know what they can give us, especially with the directors. These directors are killing it this season as well. Like the shots we've gotten, I feel like some of this stuff we have never seen in the past. Like it feels like we are getting a whole new side of Hope Valley right now, and it's awesome and I love it. And I'm like the editors, top notch guys. Y'all are doing great because once you once you finish filming it, you really hand all the footage to the editors. So the editors are really writing the story as well. So whatever the editors are doing, I really like it, guys. Y'all are doing good, editors. So
Yeah.
shout out to editors right now, but yeah, but we know they can definitely give us what we're hoping for, and I think they will. But especially towards the end of this season, I think we're gonna get some really, really good stuff. And I feel like something way bigger than like an engagement or wedding is coming. I don't know what it is, but I do feel like something really, really big is gonna happen. It's gonna have us like on the edge of our seats.
Yeah.
I hope so. I completely agree with all of that. And the actors want to play these stories too. Like, I really
Yes.
believe this is what they want as well. Like,
Yeah.
no one is like, oh, let's wrap this up and then I'm on to my next project. Like, they are so invested. They've talked openly how much they love working together, how much they love these stories. They want to keep going to season 30. So give it,
Yeah,
please.
playing to their strengths too. Right now, I feel like they're just tying into all the actors' strengths so well, and it's really shining through because you can tell when you give an actor a storyline such as these, you're like, oh, they absorb it all and they give it their all. And they're probably reading these stories like how I'm gonna go into this, but whatever they're doing something right. That's why I'll say they're doing something right, especially since I've had the opportunity to read like a script or two for my school for some students, like reading scripts, it is such a special feeling too because you get on like onto a scene that you know is gonna be big and you're reading it and you're like you get that feeling of excitement and you're like, oh, this is gonna be really good and it's gonna be a really good scene. So I think that they're feeling that this season, especially because Brennan, you were in Kansas City with us. We could feel the excitement. Like I walked away from Kansas City feeling like so content with what was gonna happen this season, especially the first episode after we saw it. Yes, there was a cliffhanger, but I was like, oh, this is gonna be such a good season. Like, just watching that first episode, I felt like so much joy. I was like, oh, they're doing something really good with this season, especially because it's 13. I'm like, this is big. This is really, really big, especially for most shows only run like what 2 to 4 seasons nowadays. So this is really big for them. Like, shout out to everyone who's working on that show. Kudos to them. Y'all are doing great.
Seriously,
I
it's so true.
love Little House, but they beat Little House on the Prairie.
Did
No,
Yeah, they only had 9 seasons.
Mhm.
they only had nine? Why do I think there was more than that?
Nope.
Oh, wow.
It's because it's a lot of episodes.
Yeah, they had like
That's
20.
okay. That's probably it.
You
Wow.
feel they had more episodes, but I honestly wouldn't mind seeing the show giving us maybe more than 12 episodes. Just me, just a
That would
thought.
be
Because
fantastic.
I could see them doing that. Like, I don't know. I have a feeling there's a way they could do it. And I feel like it would make the show grow a little bit more. Especially with their publicity and everything they're having right now. I'm like, they could do more than 12 episodes. Yes, it's more in your budget and everything, but like, and it's more time to film. But I'm like, they could potentially do it because they're already filming 2 episodes at a time. Why not throw 3 episodes in a time at that max? If
Yeah.
but the hours they're working. I mean, Pascal said she was up at 4 a.m., guys. So with hours they're working, you never know.
Never know. Oh, that would be great.
Oh, it'd be awesome.
Yeah.
So my prediction, I said this on Thursday Threads last night. I think there's a possibility they'll be engaged before Charlotte returns, and then they'll marry when she comes back.
Mhm.
Maybe episode 10.
Ooh, I like that. I
I
think
would
it could happen.
Yeah,
I would love that. I would completely love that.
after the grave scene. I think there's going to be a grave scene, and I think it's in episode 10.
I think so.
Ooh, Gracie.
'Cause she has to be there for the wedding.
Mhm.
Unless she comes back in season 14
Are
for
we
a
seeing,
wedding.
are we
But
seeing Charlotte at the grave
Yeah,
site?
I think there'll be a grave scene with Nathan and Charlotte in episode 10 because Kevin did hint
Oh,
about something in
yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
ooh,
And
I
in
like
the
that.
episode description, it said Nathan and Charlotte go on a special visit. Was that right?
something like that.
Something like that?
Ooh,
And
I've
it's
been
called
I really like the dynamic between Brooke and Kevin. Oh my goodness, it's so
I
good. Where has
so
this been so long, guys? Like, it's so good.
good. I love them together. Oh my goodness, they're fantastic.
yes.
I
And
love it.
yeah.
Me too. And I have wanted a Nathan and Jack grave scene for
Mhm.
years. So I will probably be a puddle when that happens.
Going to something else not related to Nathan and Elizabeth, but I'm excited to see Michael Landon Jr.'s son on the show, and then Georgie back.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yes,
Yay.
that's gonna be so fun.
Yeah, that'll be really good. I'm glad Georgie's back.
Yes,
Yeah.
Austin Landon. So he plays the Mountie.
Oh, another Mountie, guys.
Oh, does he play the Mountie in this next episode?
Yes, the
Yeah.
polygraph, the one that.
Oh, that's his son. Oh, cute.
Oh,
Oh, that's
that's
so,
fun. I
that is
like that.
so fun.
Bringing the family into it all. I love
Yes.
that.
Maybe, maybe Austin, or maybe whatever Austin's character's name can stay in Hope Valley and be paired with Faith, so she can have her Mountie.
That
Oh,
would be great.
I would love that.
I do too.
I would love that. I am down for that.
Yeah, I am too, actually. Let's bring it full circle. Give Faith her dream,
Yes,
Oh yeah.
circa season 4 Christmas movie.
right?
Yeah, literally. You can tie him up in a bow for her.
Yeah.
And let's see. Do y'all have any other predictions for this season? I think the only big one I think we talked about this last week, Brennan, but the fire investigation. I think it's Mr. Whitaker.
Mm,
Mhm.
I think so too.
Is that the
Correct.
guy who was in the first episode with Christopher?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I found he posted his shot list, so I read it and stuff because I learned how to read a shot list. So I looked at I guess it's just for that block maybe, but I looked at it close enough. And I looked at where he was shooting, and most of his shots looked like they were interior shots, which means indoors. And Jack posted that video on his rap photo video thing, and I was like, oh, he's gonna be the one who's at fault here, I think. I think it's gonna be him who like started it or something. But I don't know what he would have against Lee in the town.
Oh, it'll
Yeah,
be.
I don't
What if he had
know.
a fight with Lucas?
Oh,
Maybe, or unless he wanted that land for more electric
mm, I don't know.
stuff. I don't know. I'm like,
That's
dude,
not a bad way to
you
do
could
it.
just buy more land. You don't have to burn more down.
They don't have to go
And
burn down a whole town for land,
yeah,
that matter.
yeah,
Well, oh, well, they're rebuilding the town. Maybe his goal was to burn it and then put more like electricity stuff in Benson Hills.
ooh,
Yeah.
Yeah,
ooh.
and start promoting stuff like that to people.
Maybe he thought that would be the only way to do it because maybe he
I
knew
said
that
no.
Benson Hills folks wouldn't want it. Ooh,
Well,
Chloe.
didn't they put it electricity in the theater in the woods? the spotlights. That was probably going to be his only way to promote it.
Mm.
That wasn't big enough probably for him. And the traffic light, probably
Right.
not big enough. So what do? Go burn down the whole town probably. Rebuild it, add electricity in all of the buildings, start promoting it.
Yikes. That kind of makes
That's
sense.
a bad crime to get caught for though, because that's a lot of land. And you heard what the fine would be for the boys. So,
Yeah.
and they're minors. He's not. So,
But
Yeah,
I'm
if he's guilty, this might be the last we see of him. Which I hope it is if he's guilty.
dang, yes, yes, yes. I hope so too, but yeah, I was like, oh,
just like season 11 was probably the last time we'll see Jeanette O'Quall.
that was not that was not a widow, guys. She walked right in there and I was like, who is this diva?
Is
Like,
that so beautiful?
goodness.
Anyway, I'm so excited for the rest of the season. I think things are about to heat up with Nathan and Elizabeth. And I'm just excited to see what all the characters will be up to the rest of the season.
I think it's going to be a packed,
Yeah.
exciting, strong second half of the season for sure.
They're throwing us in there right now. I can only imagine what they're going to do towards the end of the season, which we know towards the end of the season is normally when they give us our big storylines, but I guess something bigger is coming. Who knows? So we'll see. I'm very excited though. I really like the way this season's going right now.
Me too.
Well, thank you so much, Kloey, for joining. This was so much fun.
Thank you for having me. I had so much fun.
I love you, girl. Thank you.
And we will definitely have to have you back on sometime.
Yeah.
Yes, I would love that.
Please.
Yeah. Maybe to review an earlier episode.
Yes.
All right, Hearties. Well, I think that concludes our review of When Calls the Heart, Season 13, Episode 5, Growing Pains. If you enjoyed this episode and are watching on YouTube, make sure to like this video and leave your thoughts on the episode and any predictions you may have for the rest of the season in the comments. If you are listening on Spotify, make sure to rate and review, as your feedback is always greatly appreciated. If you want to stay up to date on all of Brennan and I's reviews for the rest of the season, you can subscribe to this channel on YouTube and follow along on Spotify. And make sure to hit the bell so you are alerted when those new episodes are posted. You can also find the podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and Threads at Swing My Heart Podcast, and Twitter at Swing My Heart Pod. And you can find Brennan at West Hardy on Instagram and Kloey at The Passionate Hardy on Instagram. Thank you so much for listening. We hope you have a wonderful day or night wherever you are in the world. And Brennan and I will see you next week. We love y'all. Bye!